All right, today we're on a mission. I have with me Blanca Vega, who is a recruiter and a mouthpiece for women's arm wrestling. So our mission today is to get this video out and recruit as many women arm wrestlers as we possibly can. So first, I just want to introduce Blanca Vega. How you doing, Blanca?
Hi, how's everybody? I'm Blanca, and I'm doing great.
Good, good. But before we dive into women's arm wrestling, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved?
Okay, so first of all, I was not into arm wrestling. I got into arm wrestling because of my husband.
Hmm.
He was part of the team with San Bernardino Alpha Empire.
Hmm.
And during that year that he was practicing and going to tournaments, we went to a tournament in Hollywood. And
Hmm.
then that's where I met all of the female arm wrestlers, um, Jody Lurat, Lisa Wolfley, Tamara Mitz,
Hmm.
all of the top pullers that were there. And once I saw that, I was like, I got to try this. So this
I,
was in 2017.
I know it's intoxicating, right? It's like addicting.
It is very addicting. Um, I never saw myself doing any of this, the arm wrestling stuff.
Hmm.
I was always that, the nails, the hair, the pretty dress, the high heels. I would literally go to practice with him with jeans and high heels. I would be working with my laptop there in the corner and he would be training. I didn't see any interest in it at all until I actually saw the females compete.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah.
the most exciting thing to see.
Yeah.
But
I as far as me, I mean, I've never arm wrestled, but what happened to me was um I'm a huge fan of bodybuilding and powerlifting, and they kind of intertwine because a lot of the social media icons, a lot of the social media sensations that are
mhm.
powerlifters or bodybuilders, they kind of try arm wrestling, and the top guys bringing the top guys. So what happened to me is I saw Leroy Walker, who is one of the greatest bench pressers and strict curl strongmen in the country, and if not the world. And
Mhm.
he was arm wrestling. I was like, who's this guy? He was half his size, right? And Leroy Walker like benches almost 700, and he's arm wrestling this dude, and
Mhm.
Leroy can't move him. And I'm like, he cannot move him. And then when uh, this person had enough, he just had his way with him, he just slowly put him down. And that person was Paul Lynn. So I was like, all right, I got to get in touch with this guy. I don't know who this
Yeah.
is, but I got to get in touch with this guy. And that led me to down a rabbit hole. And then I started watching all kinds of arm wrestling stuff and figuring out who the heavy hitters are and the big players are. And I had a bunch of people on, and I'll actually be at Empire Arms in July, and it's in Long Island in New York. So all I'm trying to say is it's very like intoxicating. It's very addicting. It seems fun. There's a whole group of people. So why don't you go over some of like the positive things, or why women should get involved and what kind of outcome they would have.
The positive thing about arm wrestling is just the arm wrestling itself. There is a lot of good people
Mm-hmm.
in this sport.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very small sport, so it's still kind of underground. A lot of what we do, or a lot of the tournaments and things like that, are mainly kind of like once you're on the inside, you get to see more about the arm wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
It is very different, women versus men,
Mm-hmm.
in so many ways. Um, the technicality of it, like for example, men are just all about strength.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Women were more technical.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, the sport itself, I love it. I love it. Paulin, actually, I love him and his team over there. They're always trying to teach everyone, and that's what's really nice about it.
Mm-hmm.
In the arm wrestling sport, I mean, you literally have to push yourself to want to learn more about it.
Mm-hmm.
And there isn't too many tools and workouts that you can possibly do.
Mm-hmm.
But all of these guys in the arm wrestling, they have all this YouTube, they have all sorts of stuff that you can actually go online and learn from it.
Mm-hmm.
My husband works six days a week, 14-hour shifts, sometimes 12-hour shifts. So he doesn't really have the times to sit down and say, listen, this is what you need to do to learn it. I honestly spend a lot of time on YouTube, and I look up everything possible that I can think of to help me with the strength and to help me with training. I'm the only girl in our team right now. I actually, right now, we're training with Scott Wynn, Bosgan, Oleg, and these are guys that are champs. These are like,
National champions.
yeah, they're national champions. These are guys that are. Scott Wynn has been in the arm wrestling since Over the Top. I don't know if you ever
Oh,
watched
sure. Absolutely. Classic movie.
Yes. So honestly, as a female, it is very challenging. We are very competitive. Women are very competitive. A lot of the times
That's for sure.
a lot of the times there's a little bit of a confusion. Um, we are not we're not bullies.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that sometimes people translate when a woman is very competitive. We are not bullies. We want to be the best, just like the guys do. We want to win. Everyone wants to win, but a lot of the times it gets a little bit of a confusion, and then women they kind of back away, and then they don't want to train. They don't want to do.
Right.
They don't. It is very, very hard. I would love for women to be more of a whole. I would love for women to be in this, to worry about, like, to basically not to just worry about themselves, but to focus on the actual sport itself.
Okay.
To help it grow,
Right.
because a lot of our tournaments, we have small classes. If we get lucky, we get 2 classes.
I see. I see. And
Yeah.
that's where you come in, right? That's what you're trying to do.
That's where I'm trying to work on. A lot of the
Okay.
times it's very difficult because it could be just one person saying, come on, guys, that's not fair. There's this tournament, there's about 5 different weight classes for the men. And then the woman, when I ask on social media and I'm like, hey guys, so what's going on? What classes are we having for the women? And then sometimes you'll get answers like, well, it all depends on who shows up.
I
So
see. I see. So
it
it's like a,
automatically kills that motivation as a female arm wrestler, because we put in the effort and the work just like men do. I spend a lot of money on supplements. I spend a lot of money on training. I spend a lot of money on trainers. I spend a lot of money on meeting those goals that I want, because I want to be that champ one time, one
right,
day.
right, right.
I want to be able to take the gold,
Yeah.
just like men do. And
Oh,
so my advice for a lot of women that do want to do the sport, that are interested in the sport, give it a shot. Do it for you, but also as a whole, in the whole, the sport itself,
right.
because of the I would say, because if you want to help the sport grow in the female division, you would say, then you have to put in that effort to help it grow.
All right. So here's what I'm gonna do. Every single person who watches this video, I need you to send this video to 2 women, and we are going to spread the word and try to get women to join and get interested in arm wrestling. So now, for women that want to find out more information, and let's be clear, it doesn't matter what part of the country, right? I'm in New Jersey. You're in California.
And there's people up in your area, which is Michelle Dugan.
Right. Yeah. There's people
There's
up
Michelle
in.
Dugan. There's
She's
a
in.
lot of other females up there that are training with Michelle now.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter what part of the country. There's always some kind of arm wrestling club in every part of the country that you could find out about. And it doesn't matter what type of woman you are. There are like these little skinny girls, and then there are these big burly girls. It doesn't really matter if you think that, oh, these arm wrestlers aren't feminine. Oh, there's some very, very feminine arm wrestlers. So for women that want to find out more and maybe are interested, or even want to just come to a practice or a tournament just to check it out, just to see, how can they get in touch with you, and how can they get hold of that information?
Well, I am one of the editors for the Arm Fight Her Nation. It's on Facebook.
Okay.
And you can also find me um, under Facebook as well.
Okay.
I use the site because the site basically, I took about a year off. And so I'm not really up to date right now with the site, but I try my best to put tournaments, if there's practice, things that are happening, things that are in within your area. A lot of the times people will message me and say, "Hey, I'm going to be in Portland for the weekend. Is there anyone in that area that wants to practice with us, or is it, that is there someone that can train with us?" And
Right.
so they'll send me DMs, they'll post something, and then I'll let them know, you know what, I got this person that can help you with that. So even if I'm from California,
Hmm.
and so my closest area that we train with is with Scott Wynn, which is in the LA area, or even Derek Smith. Derek Smith is in the San Bernardino area. There's a lot of other places, a lot of other teams that can train females, males, if they want to bring their husband, if they want to bring whoever they want, but they can train them. It doesn't matter where they're at. I can help them by, you know, messaging a person that can help them with that training in their area. It doesn't matter where it is. Arm wrestling, it is all over the world, and as I've noticed in the 3 years that I've been in the arm wrestling, it has grown. It has
Hmm.
grown, and it just keeps on getting bigger and bigger.
Okay.
Mhm.
The Facebook is Arm Fight, ARMFIGHT.
Mhm.
Uh, Her Nation, HERNATION, right?
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
and you are Blanca Vega, BLANCAVEGA. That's also on Facebook. I'm going to make sure that those two
Mhm.
links are in the comment section, so it's very easy for people to just click and take a look. But I
Okay.
think I think the best part about arm wrestling, I think this is where, well, I think this interests everybody. But the surprising and I think the best part is the camaraderie in the sport.
Right.
And Because if you ever have seen, the movie Over the Top, it seems very, not so camaraderie. But the truth is, it is, and it's like a big family. So why don't you go ahead and explain what it's like, what the culture is like, and what the background is like in a tournament?
Let me tell you, when we get there to the tournament, and if we have like what they call it a super match, um, I don't like talking to my opponent until we actually get to the table.
Hmm.
Um, everyone has a different way or a different way of seeing things, but for the most part, like I said, when you're at the table, they're not your friends. You're just there to beat them, and that's it. Outside of the tournaments and other, I mean, not at the table, we are very close. I've competed against Gabriela Vasconcelos. She's from Brazil. She is the world champ. Um, it was only 3 weeks into training, and she beat me and whatever. We are still friends. Michelle
Hmm.
Dugan, I met her in 2018. We are very close friends.
Hmm.
I'll be going out to New York in a couple of months. Um, we stay at their house. We do a lot of things together. Nancy Locke, she is also another world champ. She
Hmm.
only lives 7 hours away from me. We get together for practice once in a while, or she comes out to our area, or we go out there.
Hmm.
Alexandra, she's one of our Russian arm wrestlers from New York. She is another champ. She has taught me so much.
Hmm.
We've stayed together in Vegas. We've stayed together in Hawthorne. When we're in the same room, but we're competing against each other. We're going
Right,
to be in
right, right.
the same tournament. So I love the fact that the sport itself, it's you're there to win, but they will always remain as a friend no matter what.
Right. That's
Um,
what it seemed. I mean, I interviewed Mike Aiello, and he said the same thing. He said that
yeah,
he's good friends with a lot of the elite pullers, Devin Larrett and Michael Todd. He said, he's stayed at Michael Todd's house, and he's been to Devin Larrett's house, so on and so forth. And they're very friendly. But like you said, when they're on the table, they want to win, but afterwards,
yeah,
they are tremendous friends. And it seems
they
like
are.
it seems like the entire energy is to try to grow the sport,
It is.
you know,
It is.
and it's very, very down to earth. I mean, very down to every single person I've ever interviewed, Paul, Mike, yourself, Michelle Dugan, very easy to talk to, very down to earth, very nice people, willing to help. tried to pull you in too. Every one of them were like, yeah, you got to come and give it a shot. And I'm like, I don't know yet. But I will be at Empire Arms, which is Steve Black's show. And I will be there taking video footage and putting it on my channel for everybody to see.
That's awesome.
I think the
love
live, yeah, he's a great guy. I think the live coverage will help. And I think the live coverage will be exciting for my viewers and subscribers to see, instead of just an interview, to see what it's really like,
Yeah. You'll probably see some of the female arm wrestlers there. Leslie and Merlin, I have not met them in person, but we are friends on Facebook, and they are awesome arm wrestlers as well.
Okay, great. I'll actually be interviewing Nancy Locke soon. We stay in touch. She had some kind of surgery. I think she was explaining to me. It seemed like in depth, some kind of bone structure or something to the effect. I don't know. She's fine. Thank God. She's okay. She's just healing up and she's all better. And she says in the next week or two she's going to do the show.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then she's going to be obviously promoting the. She's obviously going to be promoting women's arm wrestling, but at the same time, we're going to be talking about how she got involved in her titles and so on and so forth. Because, like you said, she's a world champ. So Blanca,
yes,
we have to remember, people who watch this, anybody who watches this, you want to send this video to 2 women, 2 girls. It doesn't matter who. I am going to send it to as many girls as I possibly can to see if they would be interested. And the website, the Facebook website, and your Facebook website will be in the comment section for women to see and check it out. And I mean, like, what's the worst thing that can happen? You go, you take a look, right? And you don't like it, but odds are you're going to like it, because when you're there, it's really intoxicating. It really is. And and everybody's friendly and just wants to like hang out. And the one other thing that was surprising to me from what everybody has told me is that when you're arm wrestling, even the guys that you're arm wrestling, they'll instruct you as to what to do
right
before and after you actually arm wrestle. It's amazing. It's kind of like Floyd Mayweather telling Pacquiao, how to beat me. Right. All right. But that's how friendly, and that's the great camaraderie that's in that world.
Everybody tries to help each other out. A lot of the times we just need that little do this, do that, and you will see the difference. And the hardest part is training with your husband. He's an arm wrestler. But I can't train with him. I don't know why. We train in the same garage because we have everything out in our garage. We call it our little dungeon.
Yeah.
So he's in his corner, I'm in my corner, we train. But he's a hooker and I'm a top roller. So there's no way he's gonna tell me on how to train. So I actually train with Jake Smith, and he is also a champ, or he was a champ in the arm wrestling. And he will come back, by the way. He's coming back.
All right. So, sounds good.
Yeah. So I like the fact that we can learn a lot of things from each other. But everybody, I can't think of anyone that has not taught me something from the arm wrestling sport.
Yeah, it's a tremendous sport, and I kind of see myself getting sucked in too, to be honest with you. I'm telling you, I like, as soon as I interviewed Paul, I just went down this rabbit hole of arm wrestling. I mean, YouTube video after YouTube video, even my wife was getting into it, right? And she hates Devin Larratt because he talks so much. She hates. She goes, "Oh, I want him to lose." Every person that was arm wrestling him, I want him to lose, and of course he wins because he's the best.
And he is one of the nicest guy.
So I've heard it's basically just a show.
He came out to LA last year, and then he messaged me and he says, "Hey, are you and your hubby close to LA? Because I'm going to be at the gym, and I would love to train with you guys or pull with you guys." I was like, "Oh my gosh, I don't even follow him. I wasn't following him at the time."
Really? That's funny.
But and he sends me a message on Instagram, and we showed up, and it was awesome. I still have the pictures. I still have videos and stuff. He was teaching Ronnie so many things, my husband, and we were just like amazed. He is one of the most humble arm wrestlers that I know. I mean, I know a lot of them that are humble, but he is like the top arm wrestler.
Right. So yeah, he's pretty much the best in the world.
Right. Yes.
No, that's fantastic. And that's basically what you're going to get. So Blanca, I want to thank you for coming on, and we will get the message out, and hopefully this video will be shared. So when this video comes out, as soon as it comes out, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
I'll send it to Michelle. I'll send it to every arm wrestler that I've interviewed, or everybody that I plan on interviewing, so they could send it out, and we can get the word out. And then the information will be in the comment section, so it'll be very easy to get in touch with you and very easy to see how to go about, either participating or being a spectator.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much.
No, Blanca, very nice to meet you, and I thank you very much for coming on.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.